Hello and a very warm welcome to Meghan and Harry News YouTube channel. Hi, I'm Alex. Hope all is well with you and your loved ones. Meghan is returning to the forefront with news of her first podcast series for Spotify. Details have emerged about the theme of the episodes. The Duchess of Sussex is to host a podcast series about the common stereotypes that have historically generalised women as the first project from her and Prince Harry's Archewell Audio. This will be the first series of podcasts from their multi-million-dollar deal with Spotify, although they did release a Christmas one-off special back in 2020 at Christmas. The series will be called Archetypes. The series will see Meghan Markle investigate the labels that try to hold women back. She will speak with historians and experts to uncover the origin of these stereotypes and have uncensored conversations with women who know all too well how these typecasts shape narratives. It comes after Spotify was quick to dampen tabloid speculation that it was growing frustrated by the fact that only one episode of a podcast has so far emerged from the royal deal since it was announced in December 2020. In a teaser released to promote the new podcast, the minute-long preview opens with sound bites of men branding the opposite sex, slut, skanky, weaker and less intelligent among others, and saying they should be quiet and submissive, or that they're a little emotionally unstable, and insisting they should smile when they're complimented. Meghan says, "This is how we talk about women, the words that raise our girls, and how the media reflects women back to us. But where do these stereotypes come from, and how do they keep showing up and defining our lives?" This is Archetypes, the podcast where we dissect, explore, and subvert the labels that try to hold women back. I'll have conversations with women who know all too well how these typecasts shape our narratives, and I'll talk to historians to understand how we even got here in the first place. Archetypes will be produced by Archewell Audio in partnership with Gimlet Media for Spotify. Markle, Ben Browning, Archewell's head of content, and Rebecca Sanens, Archewell's head of audio, will serve as executive producers alongside Dawn Ostroff, Courtney Holt, and Julie McNamara for Spotify. The teaser was produced in partnership with Little Everywhere, a podcast production house led by Jane Marie. William and Kate are on tour, and I'm sure you have noticed, every time I see pictures of them in the news, they always look as if they don't want to be there. Their tour has caused a lot of controversy. The Duke and Duchess of Cambridge are currently on an 8-day tour to mark the Queen's Platinum Jubilee, which sees them visit 3 Caribbean nations. So far, the royal couple have visited Belize and are spending their last few hours in Jamaica before making their way to the Bahamas. During their visits so far, the couple have faced protests as well as cheering crowds of well-wishers. Upon arriving in Jamaica, William and Kate were met by a protest calling for reparations from the monarchy. The Duke and Duchess of Cambridge were accused of benefiting from the blood, tears, and sweat of slaves. Many of these countries are tired of this royal agreement and want to be republics, just as Barbados recently became free from the monarchy. But even with Meghan and Harry now not involved with the royal family and financially independent, still the tabloids are blaming them for William and Kate's disaster of a tour. Here we see royal lapdog Dan Wootton. He claims allegations made by Meghan and Harry during their Oprah Winfrey interview are being weaponised against the royal family and is derailing the Cambridges while they carry out their tour. So he's taking something that was said in an interview nearly a year and a half ago and using that to blame them for William and Kate's tour, which is the factual result of the royal family's historical crime. In regards to the Oprah interview, during the 2-hour tell-all interview, Meghan claimed that someone in the firm had raised concerns about how dark Archie's skin would be before he was born, because she is mixed race and Harry is white. Following this, her husband Harry, 37, added, "That conversation I am never going to share. At the time it was awkward, I was a bit shocked." The couple refused to name the person in question because it would be damaging to them, but did reveal it was not Queen Elizabeth II or Prince Philip who made the comments. In the aftermath of the televised piece, Buckingham Palace released a statement saying, "Recollections may vary, and that the issues raised would be discussed by the family privately." However, Mr. Wotton claims Jamaican attorney and reparations advocate Bert Samuels has used Meghan and Harry's allegations to help advance his political cause for the UK to be forced to pay reparations to compensate for African slaves brought to the island before the practice was made illegal in 1833. Mr. Samuels told Newsweek, "Jamaicans were very torn up to hear about Harry and Meghan's issue, and Harry and Meghan's interview with Oprah Winfrey, and that has torn us. That's William's brother, that's his nephew, and for Harry to have been treated the way he was, and worse yet, Meghan. The Jamaicans are very hurt by the treatment of an African American woman in that family. William needs to speak to that when he comes, and as it were, he should come here with an apology, not only for slavery, but for the treatment of a black woman who had to run out of the palace with her husband." That's a strong issue, and that's a fresh wound. In a column for the Daily Mail, Mr. Wotton addressed the fact that the allegations made by the Duke and Duchess of Sussex about the monarchy being a racist institution is casting doubt on its senior members, is now providing a significant boost to the fast-moving Republican cause in Jamaica at the worst possible moment. He added, "Republicans across the Commonwealth would try to use the claims to bring the Queen's reign to an end in the monarch's twilight years." He added, "Meghan wasn't pushed out of the royal family because of ethnicity, and to even countenance such a fantasy is irresponsible." What Dan Wotton fails to acknowledge is that not only history and past remarks of royal family members clearly illustrate that they have racist attitudes. The royal family benefited from slavery, funding voyages. For example, Charles II formed the Royal African Company in 1660, transported over 3,000 Africans to Barbados. Many of these people had the initials DY burnt into their skin to signify their belonging to the Duke of York. But people like Dan Wotton want you to pretend that these events in history didn't happen, and that their fortunes, the fortunes they have now, have nothing to do with the actions of previous members of the royal family, like the Duke of York, who had his initials branded onto slaves he owned. Thank you for listening, and see you next time.